Hi guys, this is a ride with Roland, and this time I bought a new bike again. One old bike actually. It's an old Africatwin from '95. It has 74,000 kilometers on it. It's the newest bike in my collection. Soon I will make a video about all my bikes because it's getting a lot now. But let's take it for a spin. For the first impression, how does an Africatwin or an XRV 750 ride from '95? Let's hop on the bike and find out.
Here we are on the Twin. Why I bought the Twin is it's one of my dream bikes when I was young. You know, like a kid. I always was impressed by that Africatwin. I didn't ride a motorcycle then, of course, because I was maybe 10. But I always was impressed by the looks of the Africatwin. So, but how does it ride? The first impressions. Well, of course, this is not the first ride I made on it, because I had to ride it back home. So I already know it a little bit, but not that much, because it was at night. And well, the first thing I noticed when I sat on it, it's like really an old school bike, you know. It's complete different than my BMW, my K1200 GT. That one rides very smooth, and I don't know. This rides completely different, but when you're a little bit used to it, it is actually a fun bike. It gives a high fun factor, what the BMW don't have. It's a nice bike, it's great for long distances, but it's not that fun. This is a fun bike, this is a hooligan bike. And the first thing I also noticed was a little bit of lack of power. Under the 4,000 RPM, yeah, the bike is a bit slow, but if you crank it up, it's actually not that slow. It's a fun bike to ride. So you need to ride it a little bit in the high RPM, I guess. Probably not so good for the bike, but it's fun. Another thing I like about the bike is you basically ride it for free. Why? Well, because the price is low. You can buy it for well, not that cheap actually, because the Africatwins are still very popular. But suppose I ride it for 4 years, I can get the same money back I paid for it. So basically I'm riding it free. Unless your engine breaks down and you had a lot of repairs, basically you're riding it for free. And that's what I like. So, woo! This is so fun when you crank the throttle. It makes. But yeah, how does it ride? Well, the tires are a bit worn out of this bike. I need to change the tires. I want to go for the big knobbies. So I'm thinking about something like Wild, I guess it's called, from Michelin or from Continental. Those are a bit softer. Yeah, this is a fun bike. This is definitely a fun bike. So I want to throw on the big knobbies and go off-road with it. The plan is actually to prepare it for next year. And then I want to go to East Europe and try to avoid it's called tarmac, the black stuff. Try it as much as possible. Just go off-road with it. Probably crash it 100 times, but that's okay. And also with an old bike, if you crash it, I don't care. If I do this with a new KTM or a new BMW, you're pretty not so happy when it happens. And here. Who cares if you crash it, right? This looks nice here. I had some troubles with the bike when you go to a roundabout, finding the right gear. Because when I have a gear too high, then the bike seems to stall. And when I press it lower, then it was a little bit too aggressive. So I had to discover the bike and how to ride it properly. And I found out I do it in the gear up with a little bit slipping clutch. Then it's actually perfect. The trip monster is broken, of course. Well, it doesn't hold its power, so when you set the clock and everything and you turn off the contact, then it's gone. But that's a very common issue with the Africatwin, so I'm not bothered by that. I will try to fix it, but I probably don't need it. It is handy for when you want to know how much kilometers you've ridden for the gas station, you know. so you don't have to look every time. It has heated grips, actually working. Well, it looks like a proper bike for now. It has some old spots, it has some rust on it, of course, because it's an old bike. But yeah, that's okay, that's okay. The handling of the bike is actually pretty good, I have to say. I'm not used to a wide steering bar. When I go into a corner, it's very hard to predict how my lean angle is, because I'm not used to sitting that high. And well, I don't trust the tires that much, and I'm not gonna push it to the limits, that's for sure. But yes, it seems to handle fine actually. But it's really, riding this bike just gives you a smile. And it's not so uncomfortable, I have to say. Because I was like, oh man, the seat is gonna suck. Woo! The seat is gonna suck. But no, I was sitting there on it for an hour and I felt okay actually. It was not bad at all. So that's pretty good. Later on I will take a close look at in the video the things I want to change on the bike, because there are some things I want to change to prepare it for my trip. Look, this is really beautiful where I am. I don't know where I am. I think I do know where I am, but I'm not 100% sure. The brakes are good, but they feel a bit slow, like with a delay or something like that when I brake. So the braking, yeah, well, yeah, it is good, but you need to get used to it a little bit, I guess. Of course, this bike has no ABS or something like that. So yeah, in 95 I don't think there were bikes with ABS that much. I like the sound of the bike. It has this growl in it a bit, and my GT is pretty silent. You don't hear it much, and but the sound, yeah, I kind of like. It's a good sound actually. It's also, you feel the bike. There's a lot of vibration, but I like it. It gives you the feeling you're riding a bike actually. And that's the problem with the modern bikes. That feeling when you're riding a bike is a little bit gone. It's a little bit lost. And with this old bike, you get this feeling of, yeah, I'm riding a motorcycle here, and that is actually very cool to feel again. Also, the contact with the road, you feel very good. You feel very good what you're doing. And that is sometimes also a little bit lost with the new bikes, because they have computers, they think about for you, and that kind of stuff. And yeah.
Well, there is a lot of wind here, of course, so I hope you guys can hear me. It's actually a nice view where I am. But let me show you the things I want to change on the motorcycle. So the first thing I want to change is, of course, different tires. Second thing I want to change is this white part. I'm gonna paint it black. I think that's much nicer in black than in white actually. Next thing I'm gonna change are the packs. I want to buy the big ones and not the small ones like this. These hand guards are a bit worn out, doesn't look that pretty anymore, so I'm gonna change them also for nicer ones, of course. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do this also in black or keep it white. I'm not sure, because it looks kinda okay with the bike. Let me guys, what you think. Should I paint it black or keep it white? I'm not sure actually. Right, next thing is I want a grill cover for this. It just looks freaking cool. Also, I want the little lights there. I ordered the little lights from my favorite shop in China. By the way, if you're looking for the same items, I can put some links in it from the stuff I ordered for the bike. So maybe if you want to change your Africatwin also. The bike is, by the way, a bit dirty. I didn't clean it yet. I must clean it, but for now this is fine. Next thing is I want my Garmin XT on it, so I am gonna build a mount for it, order some parts, and I also made one for my phone. I actually made one for USB, but I want another one. I want two. Not sure if I need it, but I think I'm gonna change this one in a dark one, also like this one, because now this looks silly, and I want one which I can adjust to the down also a little bit. I think it helps, because long ride. Yeah, it's gonna be noisy, and if I can cancel out the noise a bit, that will be awesome. Next thing I'm gonna change is this little piece, because if you put it on the ground in sand, your bike will fall down. So I ordered one for on top of it by AliExpress, but if that's not working because it looks like it's cut off, then I'm gonna weld a new part to it, and that's bigger. There's gonna be a new chain with new sprockets on it, because the chain is a bit old, a bit rusty, so yeah, I'm gonna change that one for a fresh new one. So those are basically the things what I will change, and then hopefully next year I'm gonna do a big trip. Why is it always windy when I'm filming? It's always windy. Need to do a lot of editing with the video for the sounds to make it a little bit visible. I know some guys have a microphone, but I'm not that fancy. So yeah, I do it like this. But let's ride back and sum it all up, what I think of the bike. And the main question, should you buy one or not? Well, let me tell you in a second.
So yeah, in summary, what do I think of the bike? Well, I think it is really a great bike for the money, and I think it is really a fun bike to ride. The first thing what comes to my mind when I crank the throttle is just fun. It's just pure fun. And is it comfortable as a modern bike? No, it's not at all. But it doesn't matter. It just feels good, and I think that's where it's all about, the feeling. I really like the idea that you can ride it for free almost. That's of course a good thing when you buy a new GS and you ride it out of the showroom. You lost a lot of money doing that. And with this bike, you can't lose really money. So yeah, if you don't have a lot of money and you want to go do adventure, a little bit off-road, this is actually a good bike to try. That's the first thing what comes to my mind, and I'm very happy she's in my collection of bikes, and I really want to go off-riding. And that's also nice with an old bike. If you crash it, it's not that a big deal, of course. I hope the engine will hold it, but yeah, as you know, Honda has a very good reputation. Don't have much problems with a Honda normally, and it's a nice bike to just, well, you know, make it a little bit custom, do your own thing to it, put some lights on and whatever, and all for cheap prices, of course, because why would you buy very expensive lights? Well, you can buy cheap ones also. The mirrors are also very old school, but I have to say I can see a little bit bigger. I would not mind, but they're not too small. You can see everything, but yeah, a little bit bigger would be nice. I can see myself riding through east of Europe with this thing. I'm gonna buy some saddlebags, not doing hard panniers, but just saddlebags, and off we go. And what I also like, it's all easy to repair. When I bought it, the next day it wouldn't start. I don't know what was going on. It just clunk and it was dead, completely dead. And so I sprayed with contact spray every connection, and it was running again. All the connections, they were easy to find, not a big of a hassle to get there. So that's also a plus, I guess. It is easy to repair. If something breaks down on the bike, not a big deal, I guess. The only thing I don't like, the tires are with a tube. But yeah, that's what it is. It's an old bike. So I must buy tires with tubes. When I was going for the bike, I was riding it and I was really like, oh, okay. You know, and so I had to think about it overnight. But yeah, you get used to it. When you ride it for like 30 minutes, you're used to it, and then you're like, oh wow, this is cool. And in the first minute I was like, well, what is this for kind of bike? It don't have power, it feels strange, it feels old school. Actually, And I'm not the only one. A lot of people actually said this. Yeah, you're gonna love it. And yeah, well, I do. I love it. So probably when I sit on the BMW, I'm like, oh, holy shit, this is a whole different machine. And it is, and it should. And I like the rough looks of it. That's also something I prefer, you know. It's not scratchless, and that is better. I like it not scratchless. I like a few bumps, bits and things on it. I cannot explain what it is. It's like a soul. The bike has some kind of soul, you know, with that. And so I also can be a bit reckless with it. And if it's all shiny and nothing is broken or whatever, you're gonna ride it different probably. And now it's like, yeah, let me try that. And when it's got the tires and when I'm going into the dirt, probably gonna crush it. Because I think, yeah, what the heck, just do it. And so, it's not a review, it was my first impression of the bike. This is not a long-term review, of course. It's just an impression, like, okay, Honda Africatwin, how does it ride? So far, so good. And thank you very much for watching. And I will post soon a video about all my bikes. Then I talk a little bit about all my bikes and show you the good and the bad of it. This was it for now. And remember, as always, well, ride safe. Catch you next time. Bye bye.